If you only take one thing away from this video today, I want it to be this. What if one mindset shift could transform your entire life? Imagine a world where anything is possible because you're no longer holding yourself back. That's the promise of today's lesson. Welcome to WordCraft English. And today, we're going to talk about the lesson, empty your mind. Have you ever heard this phrase before? Perhaps you've seen the movie The Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita. If you haven't, you absolutely must watch it. It's an incredible story about a young man who goes from being a timid, bullied teenager to a confident young man who stands up for himself and others. And in the process, he finds peace and wisdom. In the movie, Mr. Miyagi, played by the great Pat Morita, is a karate master who teaches Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio. More than just fighting techniques, he becomes a mentor, teaching him life lessons through parables, actions, and words. One of the most famous lessons that Mr. Miyagi teaches Daniel is to empty his mind. When Daniel first hears this, he doesn't really understand what it means. But as the movie progresses and he learns more about karate and himself, he begins to grasp the concept. But why should you empty your mind? What does it mean? And how can it change your life? Well, let me tell you, it's not just a movie trope. It's a life-changing philosophy. So let's unpack the meaning of empty your mind together. In essence, empty your mind means to free your mind from clutter, from negativity, from limiting beliefs and distractions. You see, our minds are constantly bombarded with thoughts, images, and information from the world around us. Some of these thoughts are helpful and can motivate us to achieve our goals. Others are negative and can hold us back from reaching our full potential. You might have some negative thoughts that are holding you back, such as, I'm not good enough, I don't have time to study, or I'm too old to learn a new language. These thoughts are like mental barriers that are preventing you from achieving your goal of fluency. So what do? You empty your mind of these negative thoughts. How do you do that? By replacing them with positive, empowering thoughts, like I am capable of learning English fluently. I make time in my day to practice English. Or it's never too late to learn something new. When you start thinking these positive thoughts, you'll feel more motivated and inspired to take action towards your goal of fluency. You might start studying English more regularly, speaking English with native speakers, or watching English movies and TV shows. As you continue to think positively and take action, you'll begin to see progress towards your goal. So how exactly does this work? Well, our thoughts control our actions. If you think you can't do something, you won't even try. But if you believe in yourself and your abilities, you're much more likely to take action and achieve your goals. That's why it's so important to empty your mind of negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. To truly empty your mind, you need to become aware of the thoughts that are running through it. Pay attention to the inner dialogue you have with yourself. Are you constantly criticizing yourself? Or are you being supportive and encouraging? Once you become aware of your thoughts, you can start to challenge their validity. Are they really true, or are they just limiting beliefs that you've held onto for too long? When you start questioning your thoughts, you'll begin to see them in a new light, and you'll realize that many of them are not helpful or true. And here's the kicker. Once you've identified these negative thoughts, it's time to let them go. Forgive yourself for any mistakes you've made in the past and focus on the present moment. Let go of any grudges or resentment you may be holding on to and choose to focus on the positive. Here's the best part. Fill your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. Replace those negative thoughts with affirmations that make you feel good about yourself and your abilities. Here are a few examples to get you started. I am strong and capable. I can achieve anything I set my mind to. I am grateful for all the blessings in my life. Repeat these affirmations daily and believe in the words you're saying. As you do this, you'll start to feel a shift in your mindset, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. You see, when your mind is clear and focused, you're much more likely to succeed in whatever you do. You'll be able to think more clearly, make better decisions, and take positive actions towards your goals. But don't stop there. Now that you've emptied your mind of negative thoughts and filled it with positive ones, it's time to put your newfound clarity to use. Set some goals for yourself, both short-term and long-term. Having goals gives you something to focus on, and it helps you stay motivated and on track. Write down your goals and review them regularly. This will help you keep them top of mind and remind you of what you're working towards. As you start working towards your goals, you'll begin to see progress and you'll feel a sense of accomplishment. This will motivate you to keep going, and eventually, you'll achieve your dreams. So remember, brothers and sisters, the power to transform your life is within your mind. Embrace the philosophy of empty your mind and watch as your potential knows no bounds. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Together, we can conquer any obstacle and achieve our wildest dreams. Until next time, keep your minds open, your hearts compassionate, and your spirits high. May the wisdom of empty your mind guide you towards a life of success, happiness, and fulfillment. Now let's take a closer look at the movie clip. In this scene, Daniel is training with Mr. Miyagi, and he's trying to perform a crane kick. He's struggling to get enough height on the kick, and he's frustrated. Mr. Miyagi stops him and tells him to empty his mind. Daniel doesn't really understand what Mr. Miyagi is talking about, but he tries to follow his advice. As he lets go of his frustration and his need to be perfect, he's able to relax and focus on the task at hand. And guess what happens? He lands the crane kick perfectly. Now let's break down some of the key points of this scene. First, we see that Daniel is struggling to let go of his ego and his need to be perfect. He is trying to force himself to do a difficult move, and he's getting frustrated when he could get it right. This is a common problem that we all face. We often try to force things to happen instead of going with the flow and trusting in the process. When we let go of our ego and our need to be perfect, we're able to relax and focus on the task at hand. This allows us to perform at our best and achieve our goals. Second, we see that Mr. Miyagi is able to help Daniel by simply telling him to empty his mind. At first, Daniel doesn't understand what this means, but he trusts Mr. Miyagi, and he's willing to try anything to improve his kick. This is the power of having a mentor or a coach who believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. When someone sees your potential, they can help you unlock it even if you don't know how to do it yourself. Third, we see that Daniel is able to successfully land the crane kick after he empties his mind. This is the result of letting go of our ego and our need to be perfect. When we relax and focus on the task at hand, we're able to perform at our best and achieve our goals. The idea of empty your mind has been around for centuries. It's a universal truth that we can all relate to. We all struggle with negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and distractions. But when we learn to let go of these things, we're able to relax, focus, and perform at our best. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Okay, and until next time, happy learning!